I do support the board's decision, and I would note that it was a unanimous decision to move forward with a selection process on the next superintendent. I believe, and we've talked generally about the notion, we're in the process of renewing and building a new blueprint for public education, and the ESSA team has been focused on that. The board initiated a review of the state strategic plan on education, and we want to make sure that both of those documents are aligned and moves the state forward. I truly believe it's about empowerment and empowering schools and trusting those closest to the students to make the most important decisions on behalf of our community. And I look forward to the board moving forward and finding a superintendent that can best embrace what that new vision for public education and the strategic plan would encompass.
Along that same vein, what is the new vision for the DOE?
You can, and I think you, if you've participated in the town meetings, the last town meeting was on Wednesday, and we've shared the draft of the blueprint. It really is about being future focused, about empowering schools, about being committed to professional development, about assuring that all students achieve, those in disadvantaged groups, those with special needs, those English language learners. All students should achieve and be able to achieve the same level of success in our public school system. It's about making investments in the professionals there. It's about leadership at the school level. It's about embracing the notion that that's where the bulk of this decision should be.
What was it about Catherine Matayoshi that made you less than confident that she was the person who can enact that vision?
It's not an issue of my perception. It really is about the opportunity, I believe, that we have with the new blueprint and a revision to the strategic plan that provides us.
Okay, but you said you support their decision, which I assume means that you would prefer someone other than her be the superintendent. So I'm just wondering, what were the factors in your support there? What are either the problems with her or the opportunities that you feel a different sort of person might be better at?
Well, I would just say that No Child Left Behind was the most prescriptive, centralized public education agenda that I've ever been a part of. And clearly, empowerment and decentralization is the exact opposite.
And so you feel that someone else would be better at that kind of a process. She may have been pretty good at running a centralized system, but if you're going to decentralize, you need somebody different.
Yes, be fair.
Were there any other differences between you and the way Superintendent Matayoshi ran a few things? She did say in an interview with my colleague Kathy Monena that there were differences between how you guys visioned the DOE.
Well, I mean, I think in general, there's kind of a give and take in a whole lot of things. And, I can just talk about student evaluations, for example. I had asked the department not to make the same mistake that they've done in the past, where they design a system with no regard to time or resources required to implement. And the new evaluation system, for example, required 15 times more resources than the previous evaluation system. And it just doesn't make any sense. And if you look at the final result, for all of that additional resources spent, we don't have any better information. In fact, fewer teachers were identified as needing assistance. So it's really being smart about what is most important. I do believe that it is about empowering schools, about focusing on what happens in the classroom, because that's where the greatest improvement in student achievement will occur.
How would you answer people who would say that what this is a clear sign that your administration is more supportive of the rank and file, the teachers and the principals, than the Matayoshi administration?
We believe that the most important unit in the Department of Education is the school. And we want to focus support, and we want the bureaucracy to focus support on the school. The most important interaction is the interaction between teacher and student in the classroom. And that's what we are focused on.
And finally, how do you answer people who are critical of how this happened? You know, she served the state for a while, and, you know, one of the things she said when she was interviewed was it's another time she found out from a press release or something other than direct communication. You know, was this handled smoothly in your mind?
Well, I don't know about all the interactions that has occurred. I have not had direct contact on this issue with Superintendent Matayoshi. As I said, I do support the board's decision to move forward with finding a new superintendent.
She did receive what was it, a glowing evaluation about 2 months ago. Was that not taken into consideration when deciding not to renew her contract?
I think you need to talk to the board about that. I wasn't involved with that decision. As I said, you know, I thank Superintendent Matayoshi for her service. She's spent and been in the department a number of years, and she's implemented programs that have moved the school system forward. I do think that as we focus on a 21st century school system that is about empowerment and about assuring that those closest to the children make the most important decision, it's an opportune time to find a superintendent that embraces and shares that vision.
You know, I just thought of this, I'm sorry, I just thought of this now because we're in a kind of a lame duck situation at our own station with our news director leaving, people leaving. And I was just thinking that, I mean, it's kind of awkward. We've got quite a bit of time before her contract is up. What are your suggestions for how she should be treated with, you know, can she be an effective superintendent for the next 6 months knowing she's going to be gone?
I do believe that she can be effective up until the last day of her contract. I think, you know, the department is 35,000 employees, and it continues, and the schools will continue to serve and provide quality education for our children. So I look forward to Superintendent Matayoshi finishing her contract there and serving the students of Hawaii, and look forward to the process. As you know, any kind of search for a position like the superintendent can't be done in 30 days or 60 days. And so I know that the board is looking at trying to define that process, trying to determine what support the board will need in moving forward. And, you know, and we would want the opportunity to advertise and get the best pool of candidates that we can.
Well, you obviously believe very passionately in public education. Who are your picks for the next superintendent?
I don't have any prejudged picks. I don't even know what the candidate pool would look like. So I look forward to promoting the opportunity. I think as I've said, we've now had more than 3,000 members of our community engaged in defining what the blueprint for public education should be. I've been excited about the engagement, about how many people have actually come to offer their views of what public education should look like. And I think more importantly about the priorities that we should focus on to improve the students' achievement here in Hawaii.